Hello, everybody. Rick Malero here. Welcome back to the Real Estate Money Show, and I am here with a very special guest and a good friend of mine.
Yes.
Desmond
Many
and I,
years.
right?
Many years.
Many years. We've been
Yeah.
friends. We've done a lot of business together, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited because I know the amount of value that you bring to the table. And so for today, for those that don't know you, obviously you and I have been in a discipleship group for years,
Yes.
mentoring people, doing real
Yes.
estate deals.
Yes.
We've been able to fund projects with you and a host of things.
Absolutely.
But for those that don't know you, Desmond, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us, how did you get in the game and kind of what led you to being an expert in acquisitions?
Yeah. So, long story short, I ended up getting my real estate license. I always had a desire to get into real estate, and so I ended up going the real estate license route. And I did that for a little bit, short amount of time. But I'll tell you the story how I stumbled into my first deal. I was reading up on real estate investing, and I was working actually with a lot of investors, but just in the space I was representing them as a realtor. And one of the guys, there was a lady who really wanted to buy this house that we had listed, but she said, well, I need to be able to sell my house fast because I need the money to be able to get into this next house. Well, I just happened to know investors because that's who my main clientele was. I spoke to an investor and he said, hey, I'd pay this right now for this house and I'll get her cash fast so she can get her next house. Anyways, ended up putting that together, and that was my first technical acquisition, and kind of got addicted from there and really started diving into the art of acquisition. One of the things that was always ingrained into me and all of the mentors or people I've had in my life was getting a hold of the deal, finding the deal. And people would always say things like, once you find the deal, the money's easier. Once you find the deal, at least at the right price and you get the right deal, everything else kind of comes to play and puts itself together.
That's awesome.
So that's where I really started focusing on. And then we built a team, and we've been doing acquisitions and for about 8 years now, full time. And that's all of our business now is acquisitions. And we've become really hyper focused on targeting specific investments for investors that we work with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Boy, and it's crazy. So just one lady who needed to sell her house opened the door for an
Yeah.
entire industry in 8 years, man. How time flies. Wow. So speaking of that, just kind of dive a little bit more into that, because you're not just acquiring for investors, but you're also an investor yourself.
Yes.
Right. I know that because we funded a lot of your deals.
Yes.
So maybe just kind of dive a little bit into kind of, because you're seeing things from a different perspective than most, at least quote unquote, what people call wholesalers today.
Yes.
So in that backdrop, obviously you've been doing deals. Walk us through that journey of kind of how you became the investor and now you serve other investors.
Yeah. So, and it helps to be able to look at things from that aspect as well, because I've done all these deals that I sell to people, I've done them before myself. So I know where the pitfalls can happen, where the bad things can happen in this deal, and we kind of look and plan for those ahead of time when we're analyzing that deal. But how I got into the investing side was really just after working with so many investors and doing the acquisitions, a number of investors started coming to us and saying, well, hey, if you actually find the project, we don't actually want to be the investor. We'd actually prefer to be a little bit more passive. We'll fund it and we'll partner with you on these deals. And that was actually the first way I started getting into projects similar to with you guys, and started doing projects with all these investors who would come in and they would end up funding the deals that our team was able to acquire at great prices. And it was a win-win relationship for everybody.
That's awesome.
We would do the project and everybody would get a great return on their money.
Yeah, I still remember a few that were really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. So Desmond, let's dive a little bit deeper, because I know that obviously over the years, finding motivated sellers and finding good deals is not easy.
No.
There's a journey involved.
Yes.
And I think a lot of our audience would really appreciate, whether they're passive or active, learning more about kind of what that secret sauce is. So what have you done to put together a strategy that brings you these motivated sellers?
Yeah, so after many years of trial and error, and we're still tweaking because the acquisition game is ever so changing about the way the marketing pieces that people respond to. But a lot of trial and error with different marketing pieces. One thing that I always tell my team is consistency is key. Truthfully, about 87% of our deals don't actually close on our first contact with somebody. And that's where most people fall off, and something that we've become really good at is continuing to follow up with people, to where we've had deals come through that were 2 years from our first touch to them.
Wow.
And then
so
they would
2 years.
finally, then they would finally do that deal. So the biggest thing I always tell people is consistency. Consistency in a couple of ways is really making sure you have a great system for following up with people.
Got it.
So that's going to be really important there. But then aside from that is top of mindness. And what I mean by that is There's multiple ways that you can really get in front of people. There's the internet, there's, mailing postcards, there's even phone calls or other forms of marketing that reaches out to people. So as much as you can be top of mind, or your team can be top of mind when they think of selling, that's when you're really going to start to separate yourselves, to where we've spoken to people maybe on the phone and they remember that they've gotten a mail piece from us. And they said, hey, well, I've actually gotten a mail piece from you guys before. It almost lends to our credibility to maybe sometimes we're not the highest offer, because again, we're making solid offers where we're making sure our investors will be pleased on the back end of it. So maybe we're not the highest offer, but we have that top of mindedness and that credibility with the sellers as well, from the multiple angle approach to them, that really separates us with the acquisitions and really finding those people who are motivated.
Yeah, that's incredible. So really, it's not just a one-trick pony. You're really incorporating from phone calls, direct mail, and
Yep.
combining those strategies,
Yep.
which builds a credibility, which ultimately feeds into the follow-up.
Yep.
Which I tell everybody, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether you're a lender, an acquisition specialist, or any business whatsoever, follow-up and consistency is so important in any business. And I think most people drop the ball and they feel they're not competitive, but really what it is, they're not consistent. That's really
Exactly what it is. They're not following up. We are a lot of times the last horse in the race. Yeah, we're the last horse in the race sometimes, and then and like I said, we may not have been the highest offer, but we're the last horse in that race until we know that that deal has closed. And you won't believe how many deals will come back to us as well from going under contract with somebody else. They couldn't perform, and now they'll come back to us and say, because we never quit that race until we know that they've actually closed. So then they'll come back to us and say, hey, that buyer didn't close. I actually have one in contract right now. It's about to close in a couple of days here. We're their third time around.
Third time
around that they're trying to. We never quit that race from our first touch to them, and now we're actually going to be closing in a couple of days.
I love that. The last horse on
Yeah,
the race.
we're the last horse in the race,
I'm
man.
using that. I'm borrowing. Now, you made a comment earlier that I think is kind of important, and that is you talked about how you started doing one thing, but because you were being successful at that one thing, doors opened for another thing, which is people started trusting you with their money to do deals.
Yes.
Now, of course, you and I, we've done a lot of business. We've funded a lot of your projects in the past, and it's been an honor for us. But I think from your perspective, leveraging and borrowing strategically, what has that done for your business, and what kind of impact has it done for your career?
Yeah, so it's no secret that the types of projects and sometimes the houses that we are getting into aren't traditionally financeable. You can't go to your traditional bank and get the types of project or the funds to do this type of project, or even when it comes to any kind of ground up or new construction or modular housing, unless you have some sort of institutional credibility. There's no bank that's going to get you the funds for those projects. So having a relationship with a private lender unlock those opportunities that maybe would have only been reserved for institutions or large corporations that could have maybe bankrolled those that I couldn't have on my own. So it really opened up that door. I think one of the biggest things as well, is especially working with his capital, is the protection as well, because there's always a degree of risk when you take on leverage. But I think that with you guys, and one of the things is there's such a thorough underwriting process and safety net process as well that really makes us comfortable to go into these projects as well. So there's not only that the ability to do the project, but also it's a little reassuring as well on the back end to know, like, hey, this actually fits the underwriting box and this will be a good project. We're good to go here, thumbs up.
Yeah. So. I agree. That's a good point. I never really thought about that, but I can even think of projects that we worked with in the past where we had these conversations, we analyzed there was some risk, and then we were able to renegotiate construction to lower the cost basis, which then created more profit. So there is a dialogue that goes on when you're working with an investor that's going to work with you. And I can also think of, it also helped your business from the standpoint of when you put deals under contract, because you brought some of your investors to borrow from us, which allowed you guys to close more deals.
Allowed us to close.
Talk a little bit about that. Like, how does that benefit your business?
Yeah, having a partnership with the funding source that you can trust is crucial, especially because I'm going in front of these sellers and I'm giving my word that I'm going to perform here. Now, whether I'm going to perform or if it's one of the investors that we work with, I know that those investors that are coming, those are qualified investors who can close on these projects. I know these projects have been underwritten and these projects are good to go. And that really unlocks the security, again, when I'm going to these sellers and I'm explaining to them, hey, this is where I need to be. Again, I may not be the highest, but I'm firm here and I can perform here. And a lot of times, in a lot of situations for sellers, that's the most important thing. Maybe it's not, getting another couple $1,000s more from Joe Blow who they've never heard of. Maybe it's the security of I need to make sure this closes because I need to get to my next location. I need to, whatever, fill in the blank of that may be. But having that lending partner really secures that. Yeah. And it really helps for my credibility as well when I'm the one who's on the front talking to these sellers.
Yeah, that's such a good point because obviously they want certainty of execution. That's why they're willing to walk away because clearly they have some event that took place.
Yes.
They need to move. They need the cash. And so they want to make sure the guy they're working with can deliver when they say they're going to do it. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I tell them all the time, I'm not going to be your highest offer. If you want your highest offer, you should go to the market. But what I can be a solid offer. I can perform fast, and we can make sure we get this done for you however you need it to happen.
I love that. That's awesome. So Desmond, I know that we've talked a lot about the power of alliances.
Yes.
Right? Like being able to work with other professionals, leverage one another's skill sets to be able to really reach the next level.
Yes.
I know that you're a huge proponent to this, and so maybe why don't you share with the audience how leveraging these strategic alliances, what does that look like, and how does that help someone like you to grow your business leveraging lenders, private investors, contractors, and so on and so forth?
Yes. So there is no business or big team or big investor that does it all himself. There's always a team. There's always the alliance aspect to it. And what it allows people to do is it allows people to, and if you think of a basketball team or anything, it allows people to play their specific position that they're good at. For instance, I would never give Shaquille O'Neal and put him at point guard and tell him, come on, dribble the ball down the court and, make sure you get the right assist.
It'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny to watch, but it would be a pretty unsuccessful basketball team.
Yep.
If I had 5 Shaqs trying to play every position. But if I put Shaq in his specific position, which is center, or you put me, for instance, in position of acquisitions, well, great. This is where I know I can really spread my wings and I can really shine here. And I can really make sure that I give my best contribution to the team. And I know that I trust the other people who are on the team, that they can do their part in the same way that I can do mine. And well, again, that's where the magic happens.
I love that. That was a good play on words.
Yeah, with the Orlando Magic. I thought about that.
Love it, man. Good job. But it's so true, right? Because when you really think about like the core fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
You have all these different moving parts from the contractor, because if you have the wrong contractor, how many times have we seen nightmares, right?
Oh, yeah.
People, contractors that steal money, they don't deliver, they do a poor job. So if you don't have the right contractor that you can trust to analyze the deal and get it done, timelines are delayed, budgets overrun, people lose money, it's horrible. Same thing. If you don't have the right funding partners, then those transactions get delayed or they don't get closed.
They don't close, and then we lose the deal and the opportunity altogether. And I've seen it way too many times. There's way too many projects I've picked up that are halfway done that they didn't have the right team, or they were trying to do it all themselves.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And even like I call them the operator, right? So the investor who's taking the risk to borrow the money to do the deals, they have to also have a vision to put all these pieces together and to make sure that they're doing a good job, that there's going to have a product at the end of the day that's going to literally be competitive in the market.
Yes.
And so it is an essential piece for investors to work together. And so kind of our philosophy is really coming down to, like you said, why do I need to do everything by myself? When what I can do is build an alliance with a group of professionals. We all feed on the same transaction. We all make money.
Yes.
Right, and at the end of the day, if we work together well, we're not just doing one deal. We're doing multiple deals.
We're going all the way to the championship. Just keep the reference going.
That's it. I love it. But it's so true, right? You know, how many times, I look at my lending business, and the average customer that I fund traditionally will do at least 4 transactions per year.
Yeah.
Right, and so instead of me chasing down one guy every single week, we got partnerships with clients that do 10, 15 deals a year.
Yes.
That builds consistency for us to deploy money.
Yes.
But then it creates an opportunity for someone like you to help them find opportunities.
Yes.
And so it's just an amazing partnerships, philosophy altogether.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we have these giant lists of investors or people who are interested in my business as well. But really, when I look down at it, there's maybe a handful of solid guys I know that, hey, if something comes up, I give them a call and they're ready to go.
I love that. Desmond, this is a perfect drop-off point, right? So we talk about having the right team. One of the things that you and I have been collaborating with now for some time is recognizing that because a team effort is so essential to be successful, putting together a turnkey solution for investors is a humongous strategy, right? Like it's thinking out of the box. I tell people I don't have real competition. There's other lenders out there, but the reason why there's no competition is because what lender is putting someone like you to acquire properties at the right price for the borrower,
Yep.
giving them their contractors and putting
Yeah.
together a team that can help them sell the property, right? And
Yeah.
so it's that cohesive partnership that brings people in to say, wait a minute, as an active investor, I get to work with my lender's contacts, get
Yes.
discounts and everything else. And so why don't you kind of dive into that? Because you've been a huge part of that, right? That's how we're doing turnkey affordable homes,
Yes.
ground up construction. Maybe, I mean, even from our perspective, I bought how many lots from you
Yes.
to do this strategy myself, right?
Yep.
Because it works.
Yep.
So why don't you share a little bit about that and how that works for your business as well?
So the turnkey solution, I think, is a game changer for investors. I speak to a lot of investors, and I'm sure you do as well. And particularly, I speak to a lot of people who are newer investors, who want to get into the game, because naturally I just talk about investing in real estate, what I do all the time. And there is a large audience of people who want to get into it, have the funds to get into it, they just don't know what to do next. And that is a huge block for people. And that's not even considering ground up or any kind of construction. That's a whole different ballgame. We're even just talking about from the simple rehab. That it's intimidating for people to put their money into something and not know, the next step for them. So for them to have a team that's already qualified and vetted for them is a huge game changer. And I said this earlier, but it opens up for strategies that people maybe thought were out of reach. It opens up that when you think of ground up construction, you think of big institutions or builders who are the ones who do this, and there's no way that I can do that. Mm-hmm. But with a program like this, that opens this up for the average guy on the street to jump in and to do these types of projects and get these types of returns as well, and to have that safety net of all-star basketball team that's going to be around them, supporting them through the entire project.
Yeah.
We all know what we're looking for, and we all communicate as well in the background as well. So we're not all individual pieces that are siloed. We're all in communication the entire time. All of us, from the contractor to the acquisitions to the funding, we all talk and we all know what the end goal is here. We've done it so many times before that we make it super seamless for people. So I think it's such a game-changing strategy for people that I wish that I didn't have to go through the learning curve that I did to get into something like this.
Yeah. Well, and that leads to one point I wanted to make. So, like, from our perspective, the way that we have learned is, like you said, the school of hard knocks. Mm-hmm. We've done so many projects, we've funded so many transactions that we were actively doing. And one of the biggest risks, if I could be honest for me, is that in order for me to negotiate a good price, I'd work with you on, hey, find me these deals, and we'd buy a bunch of lots from you.
Yep.
In fact, we're finally breaking ground on those in Hudson.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. But I still remember that in order to keep discounts with contractors so that I could build these homes at a more affordable price, still have the right finishes and get the deal done, I had to build a certain number of volume.
Yes.
So the risk for me is if I slow down that volume, I lose the discount, but I'm absorbing all this additional risk. And so one of the benefits by bringing other investors is that now we shoulder the risk of the volume, but together we benefit from all the discounts.
Yes.
And then someone like you, who's doing acquisition, you're spending thousands of dollars on a monthly basis sourcing. So now if you have an outlet, it makes it easier for you to negotiate deals, right? And so I think that's one of the biggest pieces to be able to kind of build all these team members to execute.
Yeah, absolutely. If I have a queue of people who are looking for new construction lots, by golly, I will put the money towards that and get those lots out there to people because we have that queue of people who are waiting, who are qualified and are ready to go in this process. So that's huge. Again, it's such a cool opportunity for people that it's not out there. I've never seen anything else like this.
Yeah. Well, and again, the innovative stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later today when we get to the affordable part.
Yes.
Going right into even like modular and leveraging some of the different construction strategies.
Yes.
That lower cost, it literally speeds up the timeline, and it brings us all to a profit line much quicker.
Yes.
So we can rinse and repeat, right?
Yes.
That's one of the biggest things. In fact, why don't we just dive right in, right? As you and I have been working through things, and we see this market is a really interesting market. There's a massive need, but the demand is wonky, right? Like everything just feels so off.
It is. Mm-hmm.
But one thing is for sure, right, is that one of the biggest needs that we have done the research and we've looked into it is that there is a major current need for affordable housing, and most people want new construction. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we've been doing to find the most effective way to reduce costs but still build a really nice product is modular housing, and even sometimes just traditional construction done right.
Yes.
And so I wanted to pick your brain. I know I showed you a few videos that we were just recently visiting
Yes.
some projects
Yeah.
from single family. We'll get to duplex later, but to get your perspective based on a person who's negotiating deals on a regular basis and you see the market need,
Yes.
how powerful or how needed is this product of affordable housing and new construction?
Yeah, I mean, there's no secret that housing has become less and less affordable. It's no secret that rates are higher than what people, and higher for longer than what people thought they would be. These aren't secrets, and even all the way up from the top of the government, they're acknowledging that this is a problem and we need to find some way to solve this. So by tailoring your product to the hungriest audience, it creates a win-win transaction, because not only do they need the product that we're able to provide, but also we have a steady stream of buyers who want this type of a deal. It's like if you're going to go fish in a pond and you know one pond has been stocked with big, fat, largemouth bass, and then in another one you don't know what's in there, like you're going to choose to go in the stocked pond to where that's where the market is right now. And the research, and it's not even a secret that there is a huge need for affordable housings for young families and some place to establish their roots. And this is such a great product for that, because it allows us to be able to build for a little bit of a cost, and we can pass some of those savings along to be able to get these products out to people.
That's a good point. I mean, we're running the comparison, right, on a traditional build versus one of the modulars that we're building right now. It was like a $20,000 discount.
Yes.
Right, and when you compare apples with apples,
and faster, we can get them out faster.
Exactly, such a good point. And so now an investor can come in, and rather than marking it up higher, they're able to afford based on these discounts. I mean, 20,000 discount. Imagine now you have a couple of extra months you save in interest payments.
Yes.
So you have tens of thousands of dollars that you could play with, so that you can help with paying down the rate for the buyer.
Yeah, closing cost contributions and the stuff that really brings this alive for the family. And I mean, the reward at the end of this of, family getting their first home, because let's be honest, these are first time homes for people. And man, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love the fact that we're able to leverage our buying power and our collective partnerships to be able to offer a really good product. And when I talk about affordable, a lot of people in their minds, and you and I were just looking at pictures and videos of some of the properties.
Yes.
You think of like this super ghetto nasty
You
house.
You do. It's a bad word to some people, but it's not the product. Man, the product is amazing.
Yes.
We were just looking through videos and pictures and floor plans of it. These are really nice houses.
Yes, absolutely. And for the price, you're just kind of like, wow, like this level finish from the flooring to the actual cabinetry to the actual kitchen. You even take a look at the bathrooms, for example. A lot of builders that are building cheap, you'll see them, if they even use tile at all, because some of them use that plastic, I don't even know what that product's called.
I know what you're talking about.
It doesn't look so good.
Yeah.
But when you go to the master or you go to the secondary bathroom and you walk in there and you see tile all the way up to the ceiling, those little finishes are just because we were cost effective, so we can bring that value to the customer, and it looks so good. Yeah,
you're providing a really nice product for a really good price for people. It's a really, really cool product. When you first showed me one, I did not think that was a modular home.
You didn't see it coming, did you?
I did not think, because we all think in our head of what this should look like.
Right.
Before we even see it.
Yeah.
And I did as well. And then he showed it to me, and I thought it was just a regular home.
Yep. You know what's crazy? Because I remember when I first was introduced by one of our builders, and he's like, hey, Rick, why don't we look at this option to lower costs?
Yes.
And when we were kind of looking at the scenario, I first thought, okay, modular, is that like a mobile home?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm thinking, it's going to be a mobile home.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to buy it, and nobody's going to.
Like, is it insurable? I remember thinking, and so, but once he kind of showed me the different model, and I realized the biggest issue was that, and this is really the negative of a modular, is there really is no funding in place for that because nobody fully understands it. So you have to have the cash. And that's why we built a funding model with our passive investors to be able to help that, which is, again, I don't have unlimited resources, but we have enough to really build some volume. And what was unique about this, and I remember looking at the property the first time that I was kind of looking at the concept, and I'm like, wow, so we have upgraded floors. We have tile throughout the showers. We started kind of looking at everything. So I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know, I've gone and I've visited before some of these manufacturers. It doesn't look like what you're showing me,
Not
right?
at all. Not
And
at all.
what he
Because
showed
we've done the manufactured
yes,
homes.
and they look,
Yeah.
but
We've done the manufactured homes.
yes.
We know what that product looks like.
and it's not the same,
Yeah.
right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them are pretty nice, but it's still you
Yes,
know
yes.
what it is.
Yes.
So what he showed me was the secret sauce, and the secret sauce is when they order these units, right? These build outs.
Yeah.
It's effective. It's efficient. I mean, in fact, to give you an example that most people don't know that I thought was incredible, is so whenever we build a house and we turn it over, my builder offers a 1-year warranty on the labor, right?
Wow.
And
I didn't
so-
even know that until right now.
Yeah. But compare that to, because if you go and use this modular plant that does it, they give you a 10-year warranty. So it's just an example of like what. So
Get a regular old builder's warranty too and everything. Man,
exactly.
all over the same price?
Literally. And so now what was unique is I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen the models, they don't have garages. So how do we have garages? And he said, that's the difference. You see, the way he does it is he gets the core of the home and some of the finishes that he's able to get cheaper and with better quality using the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But then his team comes in and does the final installation. So when the unit is installed on site, he then deals with all the pieces, like for example, the garage. He installs the flooring and the certain things that he does so that the house feels cohesive. So it's something you can't find anywhere, but it's literally a 1-to-1 ratio to a house. And it's such a powerful thing. And in fact, going into the next part that I wanted to ask you about, because of the market, when he started pricing out that we could do duplexes with modular, it blew my mind when I'm looking at the numbers and I'm thinking, wait a minute, because and maybe you can talk to the group here listening today about what a game changer having a duplex that can be sold as townhomes or just kept as a rental property based on the current need in the marketplace. Talk about duplexes.
Yeah, and I want to clarify because again, you may be getting a picture in your mind of when you think duplex, just house, couple doors, and one side has a 1-bedroom, one side has another, a bedroom. No, these are 2-car garages.
Yep.
These are essentially more like townhouses.
Right.
And so I know we keep on calling them duplexes because that's what they are. But when you want to picture it in your mind, you want to picture what a townhouse may look like with a 2-car garage, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I think you said it was like roughly 1,300 square feet on each side. Like these are houses for people.
Yes.
So just to speak on that and how much of a game changer that is for the market is not only it takes affordable housing and makes it even more affordable now for people. It makes it more affordable for the investor to build and to put that project out there. And whether it's something you want to hold and rent it out or whether it's something you want to sell each unit individually, it is such a need for this audience.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And what's really unique about that is because of the way that it's built, you think about the efficiency. So why can we build, how can we build them cheaper and how does that translate? And when you really think about it, you're building basically a 24 to 2,600 square foot house. You've got 2 garages that are separate, but you're sharing the roof. Those cost savings literally help you to have a much cheaper cost, but you don't compromise on the square footage, on the quality, you know what I mean? It's such a good deal. And now, I don't know of every state, but I know at least in the state of Florida, there's been a huge need because of the migration patterns. And so I've heard that there's multiple markets where the actual governing bodies are approving R1 zoned residential single family to now be a duplex if you apply for it, as long as it fits the setback requirements.
Yes, they're becoming so much more free with what they're allowing in the need to be able to provide housing. This is where, ADUs are becoming more and more of a thing now. I see that happening more and more in our market where if you go over to California, I know that's a very popular thing they're doing over there, but in our market now with the migration coming, that you're seeing things like ADUs or they're allowing to put multiple units on a lot and everything just to be able to keep up with the demand. Again, it's the stocked pond that they're trying to keep up with. They're trying to keep that pond fed.
Yeah, and what's cool about work, again, Turnkey, is we're able to finance the bridge to construct. But then once those tenants are in, you can then refinance and get a 30-year loan, much cheaper rate, hold that portfolio, build wealth. And again, that's a beautiful thing about duplexes for me is you have so many options. You can sell one unit, keep one. You can rent them all and hold them and then do a long-term finance because it's still technically considered a single-family home. It's not a commercial deal.
Yes. Very true. It's such a cool product. I know I keep on saying that, but man, it is a really, really cool product.
Yeah, I love it. I agree 100%. I mean, we could talk all day about this stuff, right? And so obviously, but I want to kind of get your perspective. Our audience has, both active investors that are seeking funding. We have passive investors that just want to put their money to work. And we even have referral partners that are in the space, whether they're agents, insurance companies, you name it. We have so many different people we work with. And, what I want now is to kind of transfer. I mean, you're a knowledge transfer expert now by trade because of all the things you've done. So what I want to ask you is, what specific piece of advice would you give to any one of these types of investors in the industry based on what's going on in the current market? What would be one piece of advice that you would share with them?
If I had to give one piece of advice, I would say build and know your team. And who is around you, who is supporting you, meet them, have a clear goal that we all know and we all share together. Now, again, the benefit is working with somebody like you, we have a lot of these pieces that are already in place. But whether it's with us or you're going out on your own or whatever that may look like for you, it's to build your team. Don't try to do everything on your own. Really build your team, but meet your team. Get to know your team. Get to know the people you're working with because, again, if you build the right team, you can just sit there and do, project after project after project, and it almost becomes an easy system for you with the right people and the right team. So before you start going out there and trying to, how am I going to secure the money or, where am I going to find the right deal or what offers am I going to make, build your team. Build the people around you. That is so much more important than the deal.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, most of the most profitable transactions that we've ever done, they did not come by our efforts. They came by collective partnership, and I agree 100%. And I also agree with the point you're making. It's not just a business transaction. You're building relationships, right? Because, I mean, you and I, how many coffees have we had in the mornings and prayer time, and we've been in the mission field. And remember that one time we were at, where was that? That was in South Florida. Remember where?
It was, it was where the hurricanes hit, but
yes,
I forgot it.
I slipped my mind too, but remember that house was 8 feet full of water, man.
Yeah. I still tell my kids that story about, listen, I was walking through houses where the water line of the house was above where we are. And I always tell people, like, just be thankful. Yeah. Be thankful. Some of these people lost everything.
They lost everything. I still remember when we brought our kids. In fact, I was with you walking around by the pool area.
Yes.
And there's fish swimming in the pool.
Yes.
I mean, that's how crazy it was, right?
It's supposed to be in the ocean.
Yeah.
In these people's pools.
It's insane. But, the reason why I brought that up, and it made me think about it, is you and I have a relationship. We have built, we're family now, right? And so I look out for you, you're looking out for me, and so you have my best interest at heart because we've cultivated that trust and relationship. And so the point you made, I don't want it to be missed. This is not just a business transaction. You're building lifelong relationships that will help build wealth.
Yes.
And so that's an essential part.
Focus on the people, not the transaction.
I love that.
Focus on the people that are you doing the business with. Because I never have to do business with you and worry about, is everything balancing? Are we doing this project and everything? I don't have that worry when I do business with you or with the people that we already do, the contractors we do business with. I don't have that worry. And man, I can't tell you how much of a blessing it is to have the right people.
It is, 100%. You made me, as you said that with the contractors, you brought me back. So this happened last week. It's crazy, right? So we go to check on a site. We'll have to plug a video so you can see it. It's crazy, like the lot drops. He had to get super creative, and I mean, again, he really protected us.
Yeah.
So I showed up in my car to meet with him. We have a conference call. So he's like, well, let's just go to the Starbucks and pick it up. So we go to get a coffee. When I come back, they towed my car from my lot. So like, what just happened? Where's my car? Right. So guess who had to drive me to pick up my car at the lot? So we fixed the issue, but I was so glad that my builder was there because he had to give me a ride. In fact, he gave me the cash. He's like, man, I didn't realize that. I'm like, no, I'll take care of it. He's like, no, man, you're my brother, man. And so again, it just kind of lends to you'll have bonding experiences, but at least you'll have people with you that you could trust. Oh my goodness.
From my lot.
From my lot. It's crazy. Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love real estate. Now, as we wrap this up, and I've had so much fun talking with you and so many great nuggets that people can really take from this podcast. So thank you really for doing that. Now, as we talked about a lot of cool stuff, but as you're seeing the future and the future of real estate in general, what do you see happening over the next 3 to 5 years that investors should be aware of or thinking about at least?
Yes, so I think at least in that time frame, the affordability of housing will still be a thing.
Yeah.
That will be a very viable strategy. So I think that is going to be an opportunity for the foreseeable future right now, unless something drastically changes. More and more people are buying houses, and especially when it comes to affordable, that's going to be the big key thing here. Yeah, I mean, aside from that, I mean, there's a lot of talk about digital things and things going digital, and I'll be honest, I'm no expert in that, but right now this strategy is kind of where we're focusing on, at least for the next 3 to 5 years.
I agree. I think you're right. I think affordability is going to be the essential problem to solve.
Yes.
And it's, the government will have its part, but at the end of the day, it's innovation. It's going to be investors that think out of the box, that come up with strategies to do that. So I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, focusing on the previous question, so long as you build your team, the right team, you can withstand pretty much any strategy that may kind of be thrown out at you. We've been doing this for a fairly long time. You have been doing it much longer than I have, but there's countless people I'm sure that you know of that have come and gone with the strategy, have come and gone with the whatever the flavor of the real estate market is at that point in time. But those who have built a really solid team, really solid relationships, and focused there instead of necessarily being so transactional, we're still here. We're still doing business, no matter what strategy or however the market changes on us.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because in fact, I have some newer private lenders. Some of them complain to me and say, well, I can't be competitive in this market. I've got this, that, and the other. And I'll go back and say, well, let me ask you a question. How many referral partners have you built a relationship with?
Yeah.
And then it's like they shut down, like, oh, well, how do you expect to be here long term, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have relationships that are working with you, how could you expect to build growth and expand and be able to shift with the market, right? And so it's an essential part. I agree 100%.
Yes.
So as we close this, so Desmond, this is what we call the $1 million question, right? I know that you have a similar heart to ours. You believe in purpose.
Yes.
And so what I want to ask you just from the heart, if money and time wasn't an issue, what would be one specific investment that you would make, or one implementation that you would want to do that would leave a legacy even after you're gone?
Man, okay, so I spent a little time thinking about this. So you may know, and so maybe the audience may know as well. Not only do we help do with acquisition stuff, but I'm also an investor myself, and I actually do have my own rentals, and specifically all of my rentals are all affordable. They're all affordable rentals, and what I really truly enjoy, and maybe some people don't as much, is interacting with some of these people and being able to disciple them in even a small way. I'm very active in the properties that I have and the people that I deal with, and what we'll do is we'll take a house and we'll make a little suites out of it sometimes, and we'll rent them out by the room, and each individual person has their own little suite of a house. But the impact that I've gotten to make there, I mean, even just yesterday, somebody was speaking to me. He told me, like, hey, I lost my job, and this is going on in my life, and for me just to be able to speak to him and give him some uplifting words, also point him on the right track, give him some right resources. I'd love to be able to do more of that on a bigger scale, to where I think people first have their first needs. So before I can ever try to reach somebody's mind, I have to be able to satisfy their needs. And what I mean by that is they need to be safe, they need to have someplace to live, etc. These are basic human needs, something to eat. Once they get that basic human need, then you can start helping people past that point. But I think, for instance, if there is a homeless man on the street, and I give him a book and be like, here, read this book. This is how you should should grow your finances. Well, I don't think I really served that person, because he still had basic needs that needed to be met.
Right.
He needed shelter. He needs food to eat. Those are basic human needs. But once you can meet those basic human needs, then you can help get people to the next level, and that's really where my heart is really to be able to not only help people meet the basic human need of shelter. I'm with food and all that other stuff. There's other human needs, but at least if I can meet the basic need of shelter for people, then we can kind of help them up to the next level in life, whatever that may be for them, the next level in their walk with God, the next level in their financial walk, the next level in their career, and giving them the resources to be able to do so. And not doing this for people, but just giving them the resources in front of them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that's how you leave a legacy at the end of the day, because you're investing with purpose. And so thank you so much, Desmond. I really appreciated this time together. I'm sure you guys found some great content here that you can take value from. And so, again, until we meet again, don't forget to invest with purpose. Thanks again for watching us. God bless.
God bless.
I hope you've enjoyed the content that we shared with you. And again, if this is something that you feel has been a blessing to you, please do me a favor. Share it, like it, subscribe. And if you want to watch some of the other content, don't forget to click on the next video coming up.